Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Cowboys StoryLine. It's Thursday, August the 22nd. Back here at the Star in Frisco. The team, players, coaches, everybody, they've survived training camp, the cool weather, the warm fire, I guess, that happened at camp. Everyone's should be safe and sound coming back today. The team is back. Had to get a little bit of a head start there. And I don't feel bad either. It feels nice to be back. We're there long enough. All right. But the best reason to be back, obviously, is not having the mowers. And I get it. Jazz is in the back. If you got something cool that you want to play, a little sound that Chris Beam thought was funny to send. There you go. For old time's sake. You know what? If it just sounded like that sounds like a sleep fan that like puts you to sleep, you know, a little sleep machine. That's not what it sounds like when you're doing a show like that. Trust me. All right. A lot of stuff going on. Every time you turn around, the Cowboys are adding D-line help or about to add some D-line help. It has not been official, but it sounds like the Cowboys are pretty close to getting a deal done with Linval Joseph, who reportedly has agreed to terms. The team has not officially announced that yet, but that was a move that we saw that one coming since like May. I mean, everybody expected that. Linval Joseph, defensive line, is 35 years old. He's played on like 5 teams, but he's played a lot with the Vikings with Mike Zimmer, and a big guy in the middle, 330, like 6'5", 330. So if that does happen and they do bring him in, then that would give you Jordan Phillips, Linval Joseph, who both played for the Bills last season. Of course, you got Osa, you got Mazi. Your defensive tackle position is totally changing if that happens. And then, of course, you got the guys on the outside rushing the passer. So, you know, Carl Lawson being one of those two that they added in the last week or so. So if that does happen, you know, some of the free agent moves that the fans wanted the team to make, you know, and I'm not saying that these are the moves that everybody would have been excited about, but you know, when you look at it now and look at what this team has done, you know, to add veteran guy like Lawson and veteran guys like Phillips and maybe Linval Joseph in the middle, you know, that's at least addressing some of the problems. Lawson, I think, was done because of the injury to Sam Williams. I don't think that was a position they thought they needed to go out and get, but losing Sam for the season in training camp, that's one where, you know, I think the Cowboys needed some depth at the pass rusher position. All right, 888-855-2297. Almost forgot the number. That is the number to call. It's always been the number, and that's the one that you guys have called. We got 2 already on the line, so let's get started. Michael in Colton, California. You're always leading us off. Michael, what's up?
What's going on? Good morning, everybody. And I just, you know, the Joneses ain't playing, man. When they say talent acquisition is 365, you know.
Yeah, sure.
They're always
sure.
they're always on the grind, so that's
yeah.
awesome. But hey, I really like the way Deuce Vaughn is looking. You know, it looks like how he said he really worked with this offseason on getting stronger, so he's not coming down on that first contact and you know, so I hope that all pans out for us because, you know, I'm a strong believer in the run game, you know.
Yeah.
But, hey, Nick, let me ask you something. How was it 1,700 yards CD Lamb had last year? Was that right? 1,700 around there or something?
Sounds right, yeah.
And like over 10 touchdowns, right? But let me ask you something. What would you rather have? And I'm really interested in what you have to say. Would you rather have that production out of a running back or a receiver, you know, and I know we'd love to have it all, you know, have it
right.
both. But would you love to have a runner giving you that type of production, or from the receiver position?
So like a 1,000-yard rusher, 1,700-yard receiver, or 1,700-yard rusher, 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah, 1,700-yard rusher and a 1,000-yard receiver. Because I mean, personally, I think that run game, man, it just does a lot more for you. You know, it keeps the opposing team off the field, because that's one thing I learned when Bill Parcells came in is the time of possession, man. That's very important, you know, and the best way to keep some of these great players or good quarterbacks off the field is just eat up that clock, and, you know, it goes a long way. But I'll go ahead and let you go, and thank you for taking my call, and God bless everybody, and have a great day. I'll go ahead and hang up and listen.
Thank you. You know, and that's pretty much what they had last year, I believe. I believe it was Pollard that snuck in there and got 1,000 yards, like right at 1,000, 1,007. So, and when they had, you know, I guess when Emmett was in, DeMarco Murray had years like that in that range of rushing, I'm sure. Because I want to say when DeMarco did that 1,800 yards, I mean, Dez was setting records for touchdowns. I'm sure he got over 1,000, way over 1,000, and Michael Irvin was getting 1,000 when Emmett was getting those. So it kind of works itself out. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, you could say yards are yards, but as I've said 1,000 times, when the game is almost over and you're trying to win at the end, no one ever says, "Hey, we just got to go pass out the clock." No one ever says that. No one says pass out the clock. They say run out the clock. Literally run out the clock. And so when we've seen it twice last year, almost came back to bite them against Seattle and Detroit, that they were down there in the red zone. They needed to score. They tried to throw it. They wasted 40 seconds of clock when they could have run it, and almost hurt them. So I think having a runner, you know, a guy that you can count on and lean on to run the ball at all times is probably one that you would rather have. But again, you know, there's a lot of teams that would want to have any kinds of yard, you know, 1,000-yard rusher or 1,000-yard receiver, not to mention a 1,700 one. So good question there, Michael. All right, Anthony in Miami. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, Nick, my God, Nick, quick, what's up?
I'm good, man. What's up with you?
Hey, I had to come back. I had to double dip this week. You know, I kind of call every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I had to double dip because the contract stuff and Dak and CD. Like I say, Dak is my favorite player now. You know, Emmett and Dorsett and Staubach are my favorite players all the time.
Okay.
But CD's up there. I like CD, and their production was great last year. It was great. So I hear people say, well, who's for the player, who's for the owners? The owners, they got money, this and that. But, of course, they got money. If it wasn't a salary cap, we'd be like the Yankees and the Dodgers probably, you know. So we just pay everybody probably. But you have to put this thing in perspective. I'm for the Cowboys. So that means I've been a Jerry Jones fan since the day he bought the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? So, and because Dak and CD plays for the Cowboys, I'm a Cowboys. I mean, I love them, right? So I said a couple of weeks ago that I think CD will be around 34.5 and Dak should be around 56 would be my cap, because all that resetting the market and all that, you could do that at 56 if the highest guy makes 55 point something or whatever, right? You don't have to all this 60 million I'm hearing and all that, because, hey, it takes two to tango, and you really do have to be considerate of others. You know, all that get mine and all these people talking about, well, he needs to get his and don't worry. Nah, you got to worry about that too. You're going to tell me CD Lamb, if they go ahead and settle for like 34 point something, that's not great for the production he did. He's not better than Justin Jefferson. He's up there with Tyreek. I think he's the third best receiver. I think Dax is like the sixth best quarterback, but had a great year last year. So I'm going 55 and I'm going 34.5 for CD and I'm 56 for that, and I'm capping it. That's me. It's my opinion. I'm capping it. Now, once we get all this stuff settled, more free agents we sign, got new coaches, everything's supposed to be whatever it is. Cowboys got to find out why we're losing the way we're losing. We're getting there, but why are you losing the big games? Look at the Buffalo game last year. I'll call the Arizona game an anomaly, but look at the Buffalo-San Francisco in the playoff game. You got to fix that. What are you doing when you get to those games? And I don't want to hear nothing about people are not ready. And one time they say, we're not ready, we were tired. That's crap.
No.
So we got to find out, once we get there, once everybody get all these calls out of the way and we done fixed everything, the running game, this, that, and all this stuff, why are we doing that? Because we know we can get there. Find out how we strengthen that and how we work on that, and then we'll be all right. I wanted to say that. It's my day off.
Okay.
So just wanted to chill with with you, man.
All right, Anthony, appreciate it. You know, you mentioned the games that they lost. Those games right there. Arizona. You know, I thought it was really clear. They gave up 222 yards rushing. So doesn't matter what they were doing on the other side of the ball or Diggs got hurt early in the week. They gave up 222 yards rushing in that game to James Conner. So and the Cardinals. And so the Bills ran all over them as well. I think 171. They lost to the 49ers. They ran all over them. The Packers in the playoffs ran all over them. So what's happening in those games is that, and a lot of times in the playoffs, it's big boy football, it's smash mouth football, and it's having to stop the run, and you got to run the ball. So that's it right there. That's what they're doing. Look at this last week. Look at the draft. Who did they draft? Did they draft a pass rusher, or did they draft a guy that looks like a DeMarcus Lawrence clone in Marshawn Nealon, who's going to be a pretty good run stopper, I believe. It's what it looks like, at least. They got Eric Kendricks in here. He's a guy that's been able to stop the run, and he's going to love the fact that these big guys are in front of him. So they're addressing some of the problems that hurt them last year, and I think that's what any team should be able to do. So it didn't happen in March like a lot of teams do for free agency. Maybe it's happening now. You think it's a coincidence that these guys are getting traded or signed right here at the end of camp? No. Who likes training camp? No. I mean, it's CeeDee Lamb. Watch. He'll sign. Now, at some point, the numbers that you said, Anthony, for CD, I'll just say this. If they can Tony Dorsett this thing, it'll be done. Tony Dorsett. That's where I think it needs to be. I don't think it's there right now. I think they're lower than that. If the Cowboys can get to Tony Dorsett, I think CeeDee Lamb will be done. If you know, you know. And for Dak, Dixon Edwards. Taking it back in the 90s. That would be the number there. All right, let's go to Lewis in Langston, Oklahoma.
What's going on?
What's up, my man?
You miss home?
Oh, yeah. 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 But, you know, I miss camp. I miss both. I mean, I love being at camp. I mean, training camp, it's always awesome. It really is. It's a great place. It's a great time to be there. Not just for the team to bond. It's good for our group to go there. And it was a good year. It was fun, you know. But what I love the most about getting back, you know, and obviously being with the family and all that stuff. But what I love about being back is now we know it's time. You know, it's time. Right. It's time. Right. Football season. It's time. We get to do this show more often. You know, it's where everything kind of cranks up a little bit. So that's what I love more than anything.
Yeah. I understand that because the countdown is on.
Yep.
What I was calling about, and I think I brought up Dan Quinn a few times, and I don't want to harp on the guy. It's more of the front office and Mike McCarthy. Am I wrong for thinking, like, is Mike McCarthy not asking for anything? Like, is he okay with what he has? Because I feel like Dan Quinn, he called and was like, hey, I need a safety. They go find a safety. Hey, Dan Quinn, hey, I need a DB or a linebacker. We might figure it out, but we'll get you somebody that play linebacker. But, like, Mike Zimmer's just getting in, and it's like he's calling. And if I need a linebacker or a safety or a D tackle or a D end, it's like, all right, we'll figure it out. We get you somebody, and here, hold and below, we get somebody. And then, like, when it comes to the offense, and I know they bought in a few people and stuff like that, but I feel like, you know, in order to, you know, make the offense a little better, maybe you bring in a couple more free agents, or is it like Mike is like, hey, I'll play with what I got, or is he not getting any say on what's going on, and they're like, hey, you got what you need, make it happen. And so I'll leave it to you. I'll leave that on there, and like I said, I ain't gonna stay on long. Let somebody else get on, and I'll just listen to you.
Thanks, Lewis. Appreciate that. I mean, I hear what you're saying there. I think what you're asking is what maybe why they didn't get a running back. I mean, I'm trying to think what other position would it be like they didn't go and get. I mean, you know, look at the draft. They drafted a couple of players there to help immediately to help right away. I mean, that's what they were trying to do. I mean, it looks like they've done that in the third round with Cooper Beebe. I mean, it looks like he's a guy that's going to be ready to go in and start. But as for the running back position, they didn't go and do that. I think that's a philosophy thing, and it might be one that Mike, wanted as well. I mean, I think he feels pretty good about what the offense is. I know he would rather have CD Lamb in here, but it's been able to develop some of the other guys. And I don't know. I don't know if I'll go with you on that he's not getting what he wants. He's the head coach. He knows what he needs. He knows that defense needs to get better, and he knows to make Mike Zimmer successful, and for him to succeed like he wants him to succeed, then he's got to get his guys in there. So I think it's about just what they wanted, what they've needed, and also it's not over yet. Just wait and see what happens when guys get cut and guys are available. I'm sure there'll be some offensive guys that they go in and get. So all right, Greg in North Carolina is next.
Hey, Nick, how are you going? How you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you doing?
Good, man. Just sitting out here in the nice sunshine, low humidity. I know it's not that way in Texas right now, but wishing you all a little bit of cool weather.
All right. Appreciate it.
First-time caller.
First time. All right.
Yep, first-time caller. Lifetime Cowboys fan.
Here we go. I feel like we've had a Greg from North Carolina, so I apologize for that. I apologize that I didn't know that. Anyways,
not
okay,
a problem.
Give me
I'm in Wilson, North Carolina, so we're in the eastern part of the state here.
All right.
The pork barbecue capital of the world.
Ooh.
But anyway.
Yeah, yellow mustard sauce?
No, we don't do no mustard sauce. We're vinegar-based here.
Okay.
So,
all right.
It's considered eastern North Carolina sauce. Anyway,
give
Cowboys.
Me all the stuff.
Huh?
Give me all the stuff. First time caller. You gotta give me all your stats. Favorite player, all that good stuff.
Favorite player is probably Tony Dorsett. I'm an old school Cowboy guy. I've been following the Cowboys since I was 10 years old. Cowboys come about in the early 60s. I was born in 61, so we got a little bit in common there. But Tony Dorsett is probably my favorite Cowboy.
Not that much in common. I'm not. Go ahead, though. Tony Dorsett is my guy as well. All right. What else you got?
Anyway, there's been a lot of hype about the offensive line, defensive line. Got a lot of safeties, got a lot of good young players, but haven't heard a lot of talk about Bland and Diggs. I know they're not playing in the preseason games, but what do you think about their practices and so far this preseason?
Yeah. You got another question, or is that it?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right, Greg. Appreciate it. Thanks for the call. First-time caller from Wilson, North Carolina. That's Greg. And about Diggs and Bland. Haven't heard a lot from them. Obviously, they're not going to play in the preseason games, obviously, and they practice. And Diggs is starting to ramp himself up a little bit, and he's getting in there more, practicing. Had an interception in a practice earlier this week and looked pretty good doing it. So they got a plan for him. The plan has always been get him ready to go where he can play at a high level against the Browns week 1. That's been the goal for him, and that's kind of where things are. That's where they stand with him. I would imagine that, now, does he play every snap in that game? I don't know. I don't know if he'll be ready for that. That's something that they're going to have to judge and see. But we'll see, if when they got Andrew Booth in here, they've traded for him. He's a guy that's looked pretty good. I thought he looked good in the game the other day. I was impressed by him, and that gives him a little bit more depth. I think he's better than Nahshon Wright, so I think that was what the trade was, and I think the Cowboys, for what they need, I think that they've won that. Now, let's see about special teams, though. That may not be an area that Andrew Booth is better than Nahshon Wright at, so we'll see if that's going to happen. But to answer the question about Bland and Diggs, I think they're going to be fine. It'll be fun to see what these teams do. I don't think opposing quarterbacks are necessarily afraid of either player. I mean, this is not a Deion Sanders situation, or I don't even think there's anybody in the league like that, anymore. So we saw it in the Seattle game that they went after Bland. I mean, and they had some success. Now Bland got a pick. And that's the thing. when Diggs got 11 interceptions and Bland got 9 last year, it's because teams aren't really afraid of them because they keep throwing at them, and they'll complete some passes on them, and then they'll get picked off and sometimes taken to the house. So pick your poison on that one. Now you got 2 of them. That's gonna be real fun to see what these quarterbacks do, especially if they can stop the run and get them in 3rd and long situations. And Mike will be coming off the edge there, and maybe Lawson as well, and Tank, of course. I think it'll be even more opportunities for those guys to make some plays. All right, let's go to actually, Jazz. We're gonna take a break. Let's take a break real quick. I should have told you that. Let's take a break on the Cowboys storyline, and we'll be right back.
Are you the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year? The Dallas Cowboys and Captain Morgan are celebrating extraordinary, inspiring, and original fans. Nominate yourself or the biggest Cowboys fan you know for a chance to be named the 2024 Fan of the Year and win prizes, including a trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year. Go Cowboys!
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
All right, training camp is officially over for Oxnard, but still, it does shift over to the Frisco portion of training camp. So you can still get the Training Camp Star magazine. If anything, it's the special pull-out schedule poster for 2024 season. That's outstanding. You got to have that. You got to hang that up there by your desk. Also, you got previews of every player. So you can shop for DallasCowboys.com/star get that magazine. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We got Derek in Seattle. Derek,
hey,
what's up, buddy?
Hey,
thanks for holding.
Doing good. Hey, like your last caller, Tony Dorsett, man, isn't that one of the reasons we all started loving the Cowboys?
Love
that guy.
No doubt about it.
But hey, super excited about the Cowboys this year, and here's why. See if you agree with me. The middle has been strengthened. I love what they've done on the defense and on the offensive line. I mean, the good teams have been killing us there for the last few years. And here's a stupid illustration, but when you want to break a stick, you grab each end and you snap it in the middle. Okay. And that's not going to happen to Dallas this year. They got beef inside. And like you said, added Kendrick, some linebackers, and now Parsons and Lawrence will just fly off the edges. Offensive line. So I'm excited. I mean, running back, you could put anybody back there nowadays, especially with their line. So adding those 2 big vets in the middle, I'm pumped, and that's why, because the middle is finally strong. So I don't know if you agree, but I think they got a really good chance this year.
Yeah, I mean that's where it all begins. I agree with you on that with the middle, both offense and defensive lines. I love it what they're able to do there on the defensive tackle position, and also with Kendricks, and then all the way back. So don't disagree with you. Now on offense, we'll see if Cooper Beebe can handle it. I mean, he so far so good in the preseason games, but let's see if he can handle it. And I'll say this: if the offensive line is as good as we think it can be, and if it's going well, then I agree with you that it doesn't really matter who's behind as far as running the ball. These running backs are capable. We've seen undrafted players, 7th-round picks that have great seasons. We've seen first-round picks, all of it. But I'll say this though, you got to have some vision. You got to hang on to the football. You got to be able to pass protect. So catch the ball out of the backfield. So I'm not just going to say anybody will do. But I agree with the premise of what you're saying. But I also think that having an all around back that's capable of doing a lot of different things is the difference of having a decent to good running game and a great running game. So all right, let's go to Robbie. He's in Cocoa Beach,
Florida.
Cocoa Beach, Florida. I don't know where that is.
What's up, Nick?
What's up, Robbie? Are you first time caller?
How's Jake and the family?
Oh, they're good. They're good. Yeah.
I bet you're happy to see you home.
Yeah, I'm happy he's back in school though for sure. Is this first time caller? I've never written down Cocoa Beach before.
Nah, I usually say Robbie from Florida. It's about my 40th or 50th call.
But you know what? I'm glad you did that because I chart all the calls and I like to have the city. Somebody called the other day from Oklahoma and I'm like, I lived in Oklahoma 8 years. Where in Oklahoma? Northeast, southeast, wherever. So I like the city in there as well.
I'll keep saying it Cocoa Beach then, all right?
I mean, I'm always gonna write down Cocoa Beach. That's cool to say. I like it. What's up, Robbie?
Nothing, man. I'm impressed with the additional Linval Joseph, him and Maj. I hope they're gonna have a good year.
Yeah. I mean, they're bigger guys, and they're him and Phillips both are they've bounced around a little bit. There's a reason why they get signed. There's a reason why they don't get re-signed. That's just the facts,
Age.
Well, yeah, I mean, and production and all that, but all coaches feel like, same. They feel like I can get them here. They played well when I had them. I'll get them to play that way. That's what coaches feel like, and let's see if Zimmer can do the same.
Yes, sir. Hey, that's all I got, buddy. I hope glad you're home and you don't have to deal with that lawnmower no more. Get to see your family.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. It's so peaceful in here as well, and I don't even care if they play that little the mower clip. I like it actually, but that's not what it sounds like when you're out there. And it wasn't just one; it was two. And then when they take a break, then we got marketing interns over here with leaf blowers blowing out the tent next to us. So yeah, it was we were blowing and going and mowing all the time there. So it's nice to be here just to hear you guys and hear everything you're saying. I agree with you on the defensive tackle position, but let's not get carried away. And I with what I said about, let's don't forget about the fact that there's a reason these guys are available, and that's the way it is with all free agents. There's a reason that no 31 other team decided to sign Carl Lawson, and nobody has signed, Linval Joseph all summer long. This will be his fourth team in 4 years. So Eagles and the Bills and the Chargers, and you got there's a reason for that. There's a reason why that they're like, teams aren't saying, oh man, I gotta get him back, gotta bring him back. They're like, okay. So know that going in. But based off of what they've had, I think it'll be better. And you have to trust Zimmer on this too. Maybe Zimmer can get the best out of those guys, especially the guy like Joseph, who he's coached before. And Joseph worked with Phillips last year, and obviously he's worked with Eric Kendrick. Same thing. Kendrick was a free agent, but and then Mike Zimmer was a free. I mean, like, you can make that argument all day long too. I mean, LeBron James has been a free agent too, so sometimes it kind of works out. All right, Eric in North Carolina. Somewhere in North Carolina is Eric.
Hey, Nick.
What's up?
Nothing much, man. Long time no talk to, man. My work schedule changed since I took a new position, man. But I was off today. I just so happened to catch your show. I'm elated about that. And because, always been a pleasure talking with you, Nick.
Where in North Carolina are you from? I like to write down the cities. Where in North Carolina?
Right, I'm in eastern North Carolina, so I'm in Greenville, where East Carolina University is.
Okay.
Yep.
The Pirates.
So, yeah, we got the best barbecue in the world.
Really?
Some people disagree, but I feel like we do.
Yeah.
So,
That's one of those, I love that debate because, it's like, no one's really wrong. Not, you know what I mean? Like, you could say, oh, man. This barbecue, it's like, you know what? If you're in sixth place, it's still pretty good.
It's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean the only bad barbecue is like the McRib. You know what I mean? Like that
is not even real barbecue, by the way.
Well, okay, that's my point. That's my point, though.
Right.
All right.
But listen, I just gonna be real quick. I just want to get your thoughts on Deuce, the Juice Vaughn. I mean, he's bringing the juice. He had the last game. He had 5 touches, all great plays.
Yeah.
Right. All just great plays, and I just wonder what you think about what kind of role will be carved out for him this year for him this year. If he continues to play this well, will we see a more significant role in Deuce Vaughn?
Sure.
Will he keep us from actually looking outside the organization for another running back? So on and so forth. I just want to hear your thoughts about Deuce. I love what he's saying. I think this team has way more talent than they naturally are putting on for us. So I just feel enthusiastic about this year. A lot of people question what Jerry's doing and it's what we're doing, but I feel real great. I just feel like we have a lot of talent that no one knows about that's going to flourish this year.
Yeah.
But I just want to hear your thoughts specifically about Deuce, and thank you for taking my call,
Sure.
Nick. Look forward to talking to you soon again, man.
All right. Thank you. All right, Eric in Easton, North Carolina. I'm getting that sense as well. I think it's easy to look at how the season ended last year and also what didn't happen in free agency. They didn't go and sign a lot of guys, and they lost some guys. They lost guys to Washington more than anything. They lost their defensive coordinator and all that. And then you can say that not signing these players has been negative. It definitely has been from a standpoint of not having CeeDee Lamb at practice. But I think it's all going to be worked out. And a lot of people are too young to remember this, but in 1992, not 93, 93 was the year Emmett didn't sign, and he finally did, and they won the Super Bowl and all that. But 92, I believe they had 2 to 3, maybe 4 guys in the same situation there that, Michael Irvin was in that boat. Might have been Daryl Johnston or Novacek. I just remember that was kind of happening, and they had to kind of get it all figured out, and it did, and you don't ever remember it, and they go and they play well. So you hope that that's the case. All I'm saying is it's easy to look at the negative things. When you look at the roster, do me a favor. Just go to the depth chart on the website, go to the depth chart, and just go top to bottom. Just look at, especially like the defense, just look at who you've got on defense. First team, second team. When you just look at that and go, all right, there's Micah Parsons, Osa, and here's Mozzie with knowing that Phillips and Linval Joseph will probably be in the backup or whatever rotation there. You got Tank Lawrence, you got Marshawn Nealon there, and then you got Kendricks and Damone Clark and Overshone and Leah Fowl and all that in that group. And then you got Bland and Diggs and Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker, and then Jordan Lewis in there. That's a pretty good defense. That's a good defense. And then on offense, we know what they have there on the offense as well. There's question marks. All I'm saying is let's not forget the good stuff. Let's not forget that you have elite players too. Elite. Like Micah Parsons, whatever you can say, whatever you want about him and his podcast and what he says and all that kind of stuff. The fact is, when it's 3rd and 9 and the game is on the line, he is a problem for that other team. He's a problem. Everyone knows that. And it's good that he's on your side, and there's going to be 100 times in this season that you're going to be so happy number 11 is on your team, and you're going to be like, you know what? I don't care what he does on Tuesdays. I don't care what he does. Sign this guy, keep him on the team because he's a badass. And that's what you want. And they got a few guys like that. All right. Sorry. Travis, San Antonio. What's up?
Just cooking a little breakfast.
All right.
A little late breakfast, but cooking some breakfast and wanted to get in.
All right. Usually when I'm cooking breakfast, I just focus on that. There's nothing else. I can't do other things, call or whatever. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, I had it on and was listening and wanted to get in here. So
what do you got?
I wanted to tell you the last time I want to say it's welcome back as well. I'm sure you're glad to be back in your own bed. That's always a bonus.
Of course.
Did I hear early in the show that you were going to use that new drop that Jazz had as a sleeping aid?
I could because I actually do that. I actually sleep with the fan like that sometimes, and so that sounds like it to me. It didn't sound like a mower. It sounded like just a sleep aid.
You could use it for your training camp prep next year too.
True. You know what? When we get a little closer to there, I got to learn to do that. So, yeah.
But yeah, glad you're back and glad you're in your own bed and all that. And just wanted to say, I know we've talked about this before. It happened with the Phillips signing. I've seen people on, and I didn't comment, but I've seen people on Twitter already like, "Oh, is this a bad sign for Mozzie?" I'm like, no, it's a guy that, like you already said, I'm sure they had with Zimmer. They had an agreement in place long before they don't come to camp, stay healthy, stay ready, and we're going to add you, and you're going to be a depth piece and a rotational piece. Again, just to help keep Mozzie fresh. That's all I think it is.
No doubt.
you kind of led into the one question I did want to ask was, we talked about this in the group, was what position or a player do you think is deepest? Because, like, that could be a trade. Maybe not even a trade right now because I've heard Wanya kind of got dinged up.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy that I'm curious, maybe at the trade deadline, if you're like, hey, you know, maybe it's a running back at the trade deadline or something where you want to flip a player for a player, because you were just saying, like, I do agree they have a lot of depth on defense. It's maybe Dono for me, just because this is a weird case, Nick, where I've got nothing against Hooker, nothing against Dono, but this is a weird case where it's like I'm almost a little bit higher on the combination of Bell and Thomas.
Yeah.
Which I know might seem, but I mean, I feel like it's like 1A, 1B if you were to put those two safeties together and say, which two do you want? They both have made a strong push to be like, maybe they're the 1A actually, which is kind of crazy as a backup pair. So I don't know, maybe that's something at the trade deadline they might look at if they, you know, because we all know we don't want it to happen, but injuries happen.
Travis, you know what? You and I see eye to eye a lot on some of these things. I actually had that same thought literally 2 days ago. Same exact thought, to the T, to the player, all of that.
Yeah.
I floated it around to some people, and what I got back is don't forget how much Zimmer is using three safeties on the field together.
Okay.
And
like a big nickel.
Yeah, exactly. And especially with one of them who's played some linebacker in Bell. And Thomas is tough. Donovan Wilson's tough. Those guys can play closer to the line of scrimmage. So when you think about packages that'll have three safeties and you've got four that you like, now you're not playing with as much depth as you think. You know what I mean? It's kind of like corner when you've got two starters, but you also have third with Jordan Lewis. So you really need three good corners. So the fact that you have four, it's not like you're doubling up on each side because you're really playing three. You know, as if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when I got it proposed to me that way, then I kind of cooled my jets a little bit about thinking that you have a lot of depth here at safety. I was like, But I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But it also goes down to what Zimmer's going to play. If he's going to play three safeties a lot, then I like having four that are capable. And I don't know if I want to tinker with that. But
yeah, I hear you, and I like the other reason I said it too is I've really been kind of a fan of Julius Wood. I think I like what he's done so far.
Yeah.
So
33.
That would be maybe the X factor. Yeah, 33.
33, right. Him and Imani Johnson, I kind of get mixed up a little bit, but Wood, yeah, he showed up on both games. You know, which is always good. You know, showing up on the games. You're right. So they always develop those undrafted safety. I mean, look at the safety position. I mean, Donovan Wilson's a 6th round pick. And then Wanye's undrafted. Marquise Bell's undrafted. So they've done a nice job of kind of finding that player for sure. All right.
And then
go ahead.
Here's the last thing, Nick. And then I'll jump off.
Okay.
Dak, I'm not worried about CD. We talked about it yesterday. Don't talk about that again. But I'm not worried about CD getting done. I am a little bit worried, and I don't know what your idea is on this, but I am a little bit worried now that we're getting so close to the season because, you know, players and free agents, the goal is always, like the golden ticket is always to get to unrestricted free agency, and I just wonder he's so close to that now. Not saying everyone is assuming that if he goes to free agency, he's gone for sure. Maybe it's he just wants to put them in a bidding war and he does come back. Maybe he doesn't. We don't know, right? But I do wonder the closer it gets, like that's the golden ticket, and I wonder, do you think that's playing in Todd France, his agent, or maybe Dak of like, you know what, I bet on myself before.
Yeah.
Like I told somebody else, I bet on myself before. Why not bet on myself again and get to unrestricted free agency and just call my shot?
Yeah.
So I just want to see what you thought.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call, Travis. You have a good one as well. And I think that you're right about that. I think the number is pretty high right now from their side. That's what's making this a tough sign for the Cowboys, because I think exactly what you're just saying. It's like, why would I sign right now when I know I could probably break the bank next year somewhere? And so if you want me to sign now, this is it. Because I know what's out there. I can get a lot more than this. And I think hometown discounts are all out the window and all that. So I think that's what's kind of complicating things a little bit. And maybe the fact that they haven't signed Dak is also complicating things with CD. So they all kind of play. It kind of is a domino effect there between both of them. All right. We do have a caller on the line, but we're going to take another quick break real quick. We'll be right back on StoryLine. We can wrap up the show.
Are you the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year? The Dallas Cowboys and Captain Morgan are celebrating extraordinary, inspiring, and original fans. Nominate yourself or the biggest Cowboys fan you know for a chance to be named the 2024 Fan of the Year and win prizes, including a trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year. Go Cowboys!
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
The 2024 NFL season is almost here, and you need to get your Dallas Cowboys gear. Head to the pro shop near you. Log on to shop.dallascowboys.com. Get some new jerseys, T-shirts, headwear, much more. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. We got Tim. He's in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Just want to address and keep things on a positive note. Had a little angst at the end of last year, but seems as though we're addressing all the things that concern me. My concern was big boys, offensive, defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Check. I think we're addressing that.
Check.
All our position groups, I think we've got depth. We're pretty good at our position groups. The only shortcoming that I do have is maybe our running back group.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, you get a good offensive lineman, which I think we have, and running back pretty much takes care of itself. Of course, we'd all like to have an elite running back, but I think we're fine right there. And that's pretty much all I have.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I do think that. We all would like to have an elite running back, like you say, but I think that they have a back who has been elite. And that doesn't amount to much anymore, but I still think he's got that. I still think he's got some of the ability that he had before. I'm talking about Zeke. I know he's not an 1,800-yard rusher, 1,500-yard rusher. He's not the same type of guy. He's not going to go 60, 70 yards, but he still can do the dirty work. And that's what I think that they really miss from him last year, and I think they need that type of running back. So, I think that he can still kind of get the job done. You need a little juice somewhere in that running back room. Maybe Rico Dowdle has that. Maybe Deuce can provide that as well. But I think as a collection, by committee, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right, Tim. Thanks for the call, Tim, and Winston-Salem, North Carolina. North Carolina is winning the show today. There's no doubt. I see 3 North Carolinas on this list. We only really have one ever from Nevada, but he calls quite a lot. So how about Rob in Vegas?
Hey, Nick.
Did you go to the game?
I sure did.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that. I saw you had a message. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get a chance.
A buddy of mine hooked me up.
Yeah, nice. What'd you think? It was a good atmosphere. It was a good atmosphere.
I got to tell you, that stadium is great to watch a game. It's so small compared to AT&T. You're just closer to the field.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Cowboy fans, and I sat right behind the goalpost, so I had good seats.
Good.
And it was cool. I mean, it was a fun game. It was better. The Cowboys looked good. Trey looked better, and that 66-yard kick was awesome.
Yeah. I wish I could have seen that. Sorry, I was not. I was in the tunnel waiting to go onto the field, and I was really upset that they wouldn't let me onto the field.
It came right at me, so that would have been good from about 70.
Yeah, nice. I remember. I'll tell you I'll tell you my story on that when we get off the air. But go ahead. What do you got?
Listen, we all wished for it, and now we're getting our wish. We said, last year they were like sleek beach bodies. You know, they were like the sports car last year, and we thought they needed a little more, you know, be a little more pickup truck, SUV types, and that's what they did. You know, now you got these big monster guys. I thought Phillips played really good against the Raiders, considering he just got off the plane.
Me too.
And I could see him really being an improvement. I think he's got something to, you know, prove. I think now with Joseph, you know, that's just a big man, and that's what they need. Offensively, the whole offensive line looks good, and Cowboy fans should be excited because not only are they young, but they're big. I mean, look at the size of this offensive line.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the 90s, and they're young. I met the Beebe family when I was there. When I was walking in, I saw like 7 people with his jersey, and my wife was like, they have to be related. And I grabbed them to take a picture, and sure enough, it was the mother, the father, and they're very nice people. And I took a picture with them, and I posted it on the storyline. But no, it's exciting to see the size. They got bigger where we said they needed to get bigger. We talked about the Biotic getting pushed back. Ain't gonna be too many people pushing BB back. It's just his style won't allow it.
Yeah.
And I just think linebackers, you know, we probably gained 30 pounds a man there. So defensively, you know, last year teams, they realized, listen, let's run at them. Why are we throwing? This is what they're really good at. And we couldn't adjust because we didn't have the personnel. Now we do. Running back-wise, I would like to see them keep Rico, Zeke, and Deuce. In the beginning of the season, I didn't think Deuce would make it. I thought they'd maybe get him to the practice squad. But every time I watch him, he just does things that none of the running backs can do. And he's short, but he's not small.
Yeah.
You know, and he could run in between the tackles. I don't think he should make a living doing that, but he just does stuff that they don't do. Like Royce Freeman and Zeke, to me, is the same guy. It was talked about, and I was just like Dylan said it. And Royce is actually younger, but they're not going to get rid of Zeke for Royce. So to me, I like to see them, you know, keep Deuce. And you guys were talking about the numbers, and I agree. I think it's going to be 58 for Dak, but they only got a couple of weeks because I think if he goes past the first game, he doesn't sign, and he won't be back because it's going to be 60. Vegas, the Raiders are going to offer 60. The Giants, maybe the same. You know, there's going to be teams out there. And, you know, he said he didn't play for the money. Well, if he turns down 58 to go play for 60 in New York, well, then we found out that was a lie.
Right.
So I just think they got 2 weeks to get it done. I think they get CeeDee Lamb done by this weekend.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to do it at home, you know, get him on the sideline. And, you know, you talked about Micah. Micah was talking about, you know, we talk about off-field. Listen, I don't care what these guys do off the field. 2 of the greatest players, Lawrence Taylor and Michael Irvin, had some very bad habits during the week. But come Sunday, they were the best at what they could do. And that's all I care about. As long as they're not in jail and being, you know, decent people, I really don't care what you do. As long as when the lights are on, you're ready to get it.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, yes, I agree with you there. As long as you're not getting in trouble and not, you know, being bad citizen in the streets or anything like that. But for the most part, yeah. If you're, I've always said the same thing. If the NFL is allowing you to play and you're able to do that, then go do that. I don't need a babysitter for my kids. I don't need, you know, role model, that kind of stuff. No, just go out and play. Because the point is that no one cares about the flip side. No one cares about the guy, and I always say Brandon Carr is my example there. No one cares how great he is in the community. He was awesome. All they care about is you make $50 million, $10 million a year, and you're not getting picks. And you're letting Odell Beckham make catches over you. If you don't care about how great of a person he is to the community, they want him to be a good football player. Well, you can't have it both ways. If you don't like what he is off field, it doesn't matter. It's all about being a football player, good or bad. So that's kind of what I take there. I agree with some of the things that you said about running back too. Rico, Zeke, and Deuce. I don't know if it's that order, but I think those 3 for sure will make it. Hunter Lipke's going to factor in. I still think Royce Freeman, Malik Davis might be around, maybe on the practice squad. We'll see. And then, the way you can use the guys on the practice squad, you can still use them for game day. So I think it might be a crowded running back room even going into the season. All right, let's go another caller here real quick. Josh in Chicago. Josh.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem. How are you?
So I'm doing all right. I got to tell you, I live in North Carolina now, too, so North Carolina really is killing it today.
All right, yeah. But if you're from Chicago, you got to say you're from Chicago.
Always.
I get that. But that's cool. All right, North Carolina is clearly the winner. All right.
So I'm tuning in a little bit late today, and I don't mean to call out other fans, but I do got to say something about the agents because I think, we can look and, I agree with you on a lot of things. But I think when we look at it, it's really easy to point a finger at an agent, but they just represent what their client wants. And if they're not doing that, then they should be fired. They're not doing something ethical by their client. I'm an attorney. We represent what our clients want. So, there's got to be some concessions from CD and Dak and other people too, and the front office.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right about that. It's what the agent is supposed to do. You're right. If CD wanted to sign, he'd sign. He'd sign or he'd change agents if he really wanted to. So, But they're driving it. They're driving this thing up, and also you can say from the advice that they're giving him as well. And I guess Josh is gone, but as an attorney, he would know that as well. That's also the advice that's the person in their ear. So I'm not going to just sit here and clearly say it's not the agent at all, because the agent's the one that's advising them, or one of the people doing that. So there's I say there's three sides to this, probably four when you factor in family and the players want and what the agent's saying and what the team's wanting and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, they all got to come together. The end of the day, the players got to make that decision, but he's got to make what's best for him and the timing of it as well. That's why, yes, training camp has come and gone, but there's still a lot of time before the first game. We got more than 2 weeks. So this is the time, though, I think that if they're going to get this thing ramped up, and we had a caller say it the other day about soft tissue injuries, this is the time where CD should probably really think about if I'm doing this and I'm gonna do this, I'm not missing Cleveland, and that was always the plan. Then it's got to get done pretty soon here, because you're going to risk injury if you try to just get off the plane and go and play a football game. Deion Sanders could do it, but he's rare. We know that. It's going to, when guys miss training camp, it takes a little bit of time to ramp up and get ready for the season. All right, great stuff. As always, really appreciate Jazz in the back doing her thing and helping keeping this show going. 11 callers, a lot of them from North Carolina, so that was good though. Great callers. Had some first-time callers, so all good. We'll be back. Gotta be watching out for the schedule now. It's going to be a little different here the next couple of weeks. Next week, I think we're still on the every other day platform, and I believe we go back on Tuesday at this time slot here at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is going to be Central. It's going to be the time slot all season long. So it's going to be Tuesday and Thursday of next week. Then after that, we go back on Tuesday after Labor Day, and I think it's every day from then on, leading up to the game, and we're off. So that's the schedule. Tuesday and Thursday of next week here for StoryLine at 10 a.m. All right, for Jazz, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you next time on StoryLine.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?